Race Cars, a children's book about white privilege by Devenny. This is Chase. Chase is a black race car. This is Ace. Ace is a white race car. They live in a world with lots of other race cars. Big ones, small ones, short ones, tall ones, old ones, new ones, brown ones, blue ones. Chase and Ace have been best friends forever. For as long as they can remember, they have been training together for the world-famous annual race car race. Last year, they were finally old enough to enter the race. For as long as anyone could remember, every year when the big race came around, a white car would win the race. A white car would win 4th place, 3rd place, 2nd place, and 1st place. Until last year. Last year, Chase won 1st place and Ace won 4th place. Sometimes competition can come between friends, but not for these two. Ace was so happy for Chase, and Chase was so happy for Ace. They loved to race, and they did not care about place. There were, however, some cars that did care about place. These cars were on the race committee. No one had ever seen them, but everyone knew who they were. They were a group of white cars that made all the rules for the annual race car race. When the committee heard about Chase winning, they were not happy. A black car had never won 1st place. They did not want things to change. "We have always given white cars fastest tires and the most powerful engines," they roared. "How could a black car have won?" For the next race, the committee decided to change a few of the rules to make it easier for the white cars to win and harder for all the other cars. They all agreed except for one, Grace. Something about it didn't feel right to her. She was used to things not feeling fair. After all, Grace was the youngest committee member and the only girl. But she didn't say anything because everyone else felt so strongly. Next year rolled around, and Chase and Ace were ready to race again. They had spent all summer training and knew the route by heart. Chase started off faster than ever. He zipped around the track as the crowds cheered him on. Once around the track, straight through the cornfield, over the blue mountain, through the magical forest. Chase was ready to cross the bridge when he noticed a sign that had not been there before. "Bridge is for white cars only. All other cars must go around the river." Chase paused for a second. That's strange, he thought. But he did not want to waste any more time. Chase sped around the river as fast as he could and jumped over the finish line. Even without taking the bridge, Chase managed to come in 2nd place. Ace came in 1st place. Ace was so happy for Chase, and Chase was so happy for Ace. They loved to race, and they did not care about place. But back at home, something was bothering Chase. It just did not seem fair that the bridge was for white cars only. Was he not as good as the white cars? Was something wrong with him? He shrugged it off and decided to train even harder for next year. Back at Ace's house, Ace was snuggled up in bed smiling. He did not expect to be faster than Chase. In their practices, Chase was always fastest. "I must be getting much faster," thought Ace. He drifted off to sleep, dreaming of next year's race car race. And back at the committee, the white cars were still not happy that Chase won 2nd place. They decided to change more rules to make it even easier for the white cars to win, and even harder for all the other cars to win. Grace did not think it was fair, but she did not want to lose her place at the table, so she stayed silent. The next year rolled around and Chase and Ace were ready to race. Chase started off faster than ever. He zipped around the track as the crowds cheered him on. Then he whizzed through the cornfields in record time. He made it to the Blue Mountain in a blink of an eye. At the top of the mountain, a race officer stopped him. "Pull over, please. I need to see some identification." Chase paused for a second. That's strange, he thought. None of the white cars seemed to be getting stopped. But he did not waste any more time. He showed the officer his identification and continued the race through the magical forest. Chase sped around the river as fast as he could and jumped over the finish line. But because the race officer stopped him, Chase did not place, and Ace came in first instead. Chase was happy for Ace, but they were both upset about Chase's race. They loved to race and did not care about place, but the committee had just announced a new rule. Cars that did not place this year could no longer race next year. Next year, Chase would not be allowed to race. Back at home, Chase was devastated. He did not care about place, but he loved to race. What would he do now? Chase could not help feeling like he was not as good as the other cars. He felt like something was definitely wrong with him. Why else would he not be allowed to race? That night, Chase cried himself into a long, deep sleep. Back at Ace's house, Ace was snuggled up in bed, but something did not feel quite right. He did not understand why Chase did not place. "He's the fastest car I know," thought Ace. Next year would not be the same without his best friend. Chase was the reason that Ace liked to race in the first place. Ace sighed, shrugged his shoulders, and drifted off into a long, deep sleep. Back at the building where the race committee held their meetings, Grace tried to speak out against Chase being pulled over in the race. She knew it wasn't fair, and some of the members agreed, but others didn't. "We need to change the rules for this race to make it fair and equal for all," said Grace softly. "Yes, we agree," whispered two more cars, but most remained silent and ignored her. They were afraid of change and did not want to lose their space at the table. Next year rolled around and Chase was at the race to cheer his best friend on. Ace started off faster than ever, zipped around the track as the crowds cheered him on. He whizzed through the cornfields in record time. He made it up the Blue Mountain in the blink of an eye. Ace was heading for the magical forest when something made him pause. A forked road with two separate paths, one for white cars and another for all other cars. "Why have I never noticed this before?" thought Ace. Ace wanted to know what was down the other path. He wanted to understand what the race was like for Chase. Ace took a right and went down the longer path instead of the shorter one. He sped off into the magical forest, faster and faster until he realized that he was lost. Back at the track, the race committee was starting to get worried. All the other cars had finished the race except for their star race car, Ace. Where could he be? The race officers looked everywhere, but could not find Ace. The committee decided to hold a meeting to figure out the best way to find Ace. "We need the fastest race car," said one. "The fastest race car should surely be able to find Ace." "But Ace is our fastest race car," said another. "No," shouted a voice from the back of the room. The committee turned to see where it had come from. It was Grace, and she could not stay silent anymore. This time, they would listen. "The fastest race car is Chase, even though we did not ever let Chase have a fair race. Take down those unfair signs, and if we let Chase race at his fastest pace, he will definitely be able to find Ace." Although Chase was still upset that the committee did not allow him to race this year, he quickly agreed to help save his best friend. "Here I come, Ace," said Chase. He zipped down the track as the crowds cheered him on. Then he whizzed through the cornfields in record time. He made it up the Blue Mountain in a blink of an eye. When he got to the magical forest, he saw Ace speeding towards him. "I'm sorry it took me so long to realize how much harder it was for you to win this race, Chase," said Ace. The best friends embraced. Then together, Ace and Chase finished the race. You could pause the video now to go over the discussion notes with your friends, family, or students. Thank you for watching this video, and please consider looking through more books by Devenny.